All right, coming up on 11:30 here. We're keeping an eye on some storms back to the west. I'm here. Riley Blackwell's right over there. And we're hoping we don't have to pop on it all this evening, but rest assured, we are watching it. So let's talk about what you can expect. So if you've been sitting around all day, it was warm, it was windy, and all the feels of, the potential of an event upcoming. So let's start with our active watches and warnings. And I'll be very clear. There is no tornado watch for a huge chunk of the state. You see here the yellow. That is our tornado watch. It includes Marion, Winston, and Cullman County until 3 o'clock this morning. Just over the state line, we have some warnings as well. But notice the lack of polygons here. There's some severe thunderstorm warnings, and these would eventually enter Pickens County, Sumter County, perhaps Tuscaloosa County. But we look at trends, and you look back to the west, and you see storms not really firing off. That's usually a good sign. With that being said, we still have some instability in place, meaning that energy from the daytime that we all felt when it was 80-some degrees is still there and could be tapped into. So there's a look at our composite radar. Here's the line in question here, basically stretching from near Greenwood, just north of Kosciuszko, down I-55, just west of Crystal Springs, and this goes all the way down to Natchez, and we'll continue to move in the general direction of West Alabama. So let's go here, and we'll talk about these radar signatures here. A lot of times you'll look and you'll see the red, and it can be scary. Those colors, those returns. That's really heavy rain, and there might even be some tiny hail in these. None of this is severe. Notice how the lead edge of this entire line, it's not defined. So there's not a definitive edge. It's all broken, which tells us that there's a lot of outflow with it, meaning the storm's reached its peak. It no longer has a strong updraft, and that's typically a sign of a weakening line. With that in mind, you look down here, and this is a bit of a more impressive stretch of the line. This is what I would keep an eye on as it moves in our direction over the next couple of hours. Will it strengthen, intensify? Don't know yet. But that'll be what we watch. And then you get any of this junk out here that forms, that could zap the atmosphere of additional energy. So there's a lot to watch. Suffice to say, we're going to do just that here. But this stuff that's back to the west at the moment does not really have too much of a concern. Here's what I would tell people. Have a way to, of course, we always say this, have a way to get the warnings. Head to bed, of course, if there's anything of note that we got to pop on for, we will. So here's the velocity data, and this is looking pretty far up in the atmosphere. There's a couple little kinks in this line, but there's no real rotation within this line as of now. So let's go to our future view, and I've just grabbed one model that seems to be following it okay. This is at 1 o'clock. We'll zoom in, and this might be lagging behind a little bit. The timing of this, models just haven't grasped it well. So this could very well be coming into the Birmingham Metro 4 o'clock in the morning or so, maybe sooner if this line speeds up. You're going to have a lot of lightning. You're going to have a lot of thunder with this, possibly some small hail. That really just comes with the territory. I think what we have to look out for is, as this evolves, do we see segments like this that bow out? Because this would carry with it a wind threat. Tornado threat overall with this is pretty low. The best, dynamics, our wind shear profiles are going to exist north of here where we've seen those warnings. Northeast Mississippi, northwest Alabama, and trending into Tennessee. Again, you don't necessarily have to have all those ingredients for them to form. It's still a possibility, but even looking here at the evolution of this model, that's got that line completely fallen apart here at some point during the morning hours, and then perhaps redeveloping. So our folks down in the Wiregrass might have to be paying attention to the re-strengthening of this line as we go into Sunday afternoon. So again, my initial thoughts on this, not a ton of concern for central Alabama. Obviously up near the Shoals, up closer to Florence, we had that confirmed tornado. But this is a look at our energy helicity index. So what this is combining is our wind shear availability plus our energy availability. So imagine, if you will, our change in direction with winds, and then our vertical energy. So as the parcel moves north or moves up in the atmosphere, will it spin? And yeah, there's a potential for that. It's not great, and you see our values kind of drop off, significantly in northern Alabama. They'll stay relatively intact to the south. So that's just a little update here before 11:30. I just thought we would touch on this very quickly for those of you wondering. You saw the 10 o'clock newscast with Riley. The only active tornado warnings are up in Limestone County, Alabama, and Giles County in Tennessee. That's just south of Pulaski. and both of these are crossing over I-65. So again, we'll keep an eye on these storms that are back to the west. For now, I don't have any major concerns. Have a way to get the notifications. Hopefully you don't have to hear from your weather radio at all tonight. Have a good one. Stay safe.